All right, guys. Uh, I hope I'm being clearly visible and audible to all of you. I'm really sorry, guys. I had to do this whole thing over again. I firstly did it from my mobile, but it did not happen to work out. Therefore, I'll be again streaming via laptop. But again, I'm using my mobile data, so I need to call again. I'm calling, this Geo helpline number so that my net works flawlessly. I hope that hindrance won't occur again. Therefore, without any further ado, let us start our today's video. Today is the day 72 of recording daily scheduled videos for 75 days, and today we will be talking about hot potato that is going in our country. That is the shortage of the cooking cylinders, or for that matter, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. So let us understand why is this happening. This is happening majorly because of the West Asia and Middle East conflict, mainly three countries: Iran, Israel, and US conflict. All right. Now let us understand why we are facing such issue. Now, before we delve into this video, let us understand the street of how much. All right. So that is the street where all of the imports from the West and Middle East enters to our India. And due to this conflict, West Asia and Middle East conflict, amid we are facing a lot of crisis of liquefied petroleum gas. Just give me a second, guys. I'll call this number again, or else you all won't be able to see me or hear me. Therefore, this thing must go on. All right. So where was I? All right. So basically, due to this, you know, warlike situation, we are facing such sort of crisis in our country now. Let's quickly see the government responses toward it. Again, the government have invoked the Essential Commodities Act of 1955 due to this crisis of LPG cylinders, or for that matter, natural gas. All right. So, what is Essential Commodities Act of 1955? What does it do is it authorizes the government to regulate this production, supply of all the essential commodities, or in this context, the LPG cylinder gas. All right. Therefore, now the government will take measure so that the black market does not escalate due to this crisis, right? So, in order to prevent all this kind of thing, the government have, you know, they have check on the supply and the production of the LPG. That's there. Now, quickly, let us move on to the major impacts that we are facing. First is in cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, and Delhi's, a lot of eateries are getting closed due to the lack of cylinders. Right, prices of domestic LPG cylinder have rose by 60 rupees per one cylinder. Therefore, the inflation, or you can say, not, yeah, the perfect term would be inflation, right? The prices have rose above per 60 rupees in one cylinder. All right, 60 rupees per one cylinder. So that's the impact. Now let us see few. Again, I have to call it. Now let us see the few practical implication or the few practical advice. All right. So avoid panicking. Do not panic orders, right? Because when you book the cylinder, there's already a huge queue. All right. Therefore, it worsen the delays and system overloads. That's what our local dealers are even saying, right? System overload, system crashed. So it's likely to happen, right, when there's a lot of beneficiaries opting for and booking a lot of cylinders, right? So that's the first point. Second point is you can use the alternative like stops or rice cooker, or we also have induction, or for some we have solar cookers and all those kind of things. And the fundamentally, how can I forget the hood, right? We can use our own, tree wood, right? Specifically in rural areas, right? Therefore, it is a bliss, right? It is privilege to have been born in and brought up in village area where you can find a lot of hoods, right? And the meal tastes so good. So that's there. That's that was one alternative that you could go for. Now the last practical point is to stay updated, right? Stay updated with your local dealers, right? With your locality dealers of gas cylinders, right? Because it can be restocked anytime. But amid this global conflict, not global but the Middle East and West conflict, I think the situation will escalate more. Therefore, better to go for alternatives, which I've mentioned: stop gas, right? Induction, or rice cooker, or for that matter, hood, your own, forest hood. So that's there for our today's video. But in summation, what I'd like to say is, with all these things coming in our country, right? The ruling government stance would be very derogatory, and it might affect a lot in coming up general election, and for that matter the very state legislative assembly election in March. That is all for our today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope I am being audible to all of you. There's one viewer, thank you. इसे call one or no, it's only none of the like. Okay, guys. May God bless all of you and all your efforts. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Thanks. There's one viewer. I hope you do well in life. Whosoever is watching this, do well in life here.